Hello and welcome to the Lillian McMorris Show. We appreciate you not only watching, but also being a part of our audience today. We're taping live at Nevada Partners and on the Nevada Partners campus, I should say. And we want to thank them up front for being one of our sponsors and sponsoring the next 4 shows for us to be here. We always try to give out information as to what's going on within our community. There are loads of nonprofit organizations, events, and programs that affect and infect people right here in our community. But if you don't know about it, you can't get the services. I've got an organization I talked to maybe last month, and they were planning a huge event. But unfortunately, we need more sponsors. So what I'd like to do is kind of educate everybody in our community as to who these people are. It's called the HerShe Group. And they're dedicated to the young women within our community. Women that have been in foster care, that have unfortunately outgrown foster care, and they're still out there. And they need guidance. And that's what the HerShe Group does, is give them guidance through mentoring and through the other programs that they sponsor. I would like to introduce the person who brought it here to Las Vegas and is a primary focus of the HerShe Group. And this is Kennadie Cobbin-Richardson. Welcome, Kennadie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My
We
pleasure.
appreciate you being here. We're going to find out a little bit about how you got started and a little history and what you want to do here in Vegas.
Great.
And of course, we've got a person who is involved in our community, has been in our community. She left and then she came back. And we appreciate you so much, Mrs. Zenja Dunn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Let's talk about the HerShe Group. Give us a brief overview, Kennadie, as to what you want, where have you been, and what you want to see here.
Okay, so briefly, I met a girl in college who was a former foster youth, and she was brilliant and beautiful. Straight A student. We were both Reagan scholars, which meant you need to be in your first, either 1 or 2 in your graduating class. She was from a big town of D.C. I was from a small town in Youngstown, and she was really just a model student to me. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, when it got to Christmas, I was going home for Christmas, and she didn't have any place to go. And she told me she was a foster youth, but I didn't understand it in the way that meant.
It didn't sink in.
It did not.
Yes.
And so my mom was used to me bringing people home throughout my life. So
you sound like my girls.
Okay. So I was like, Mom, she doesn't have any place to go, but she had lived with this family for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I thought, if you live with someone for 3 years, for sure they can have you come home for 2 weeks. I mean, that's all. You're not moving back.
Unfortunately, that's not the case.
And it wasn't the case. That bed was, a new foster youth was there that was being paid for, so there was no room for her. Mm-hmm. And for the next 4 years, I saw how she had to deal with the history of being in foster care. She had been abused from 8 months old to 16 years old by her father sexually, got her pregnant, and that's actually how she got into the system. And so what she went through was horrific, but she still had what it took to move forward. Mm-hmm. She kept her grades. She was assertive, she was aggressive, she was smart, and but what I learned is everyone needs support.
That's right.
And the fact that she didn't have it, she really succumbed to all of the things that happen to foster youth who don't have.
So you utilized this history of what you went through with her and said, okay, I can make a difference to the girls in foster care.
Correct. Not immediately, but I started teaching also. Mm-hmm. And I saw little hers, if you will, in my classroom who were smart and beautiful and really on their way, but without support, they just weren't going to make it.
You're not going to make it.
They're not going to make it. And so HerShe is about girls who are really already wonderful, who have that thing inside of them.
We just need someone to bring it out like yourself.
Exactly. And to support it.
Exactly. Zenja, I noticed you got involved in this when you were in California.
I did in Los Angeles. This amazing, dynamic woman right here beside me was doing the Miss California pageant. And I was working with Steve Harvey in radio, mm-hmm. and she asked me to be in the pageant. And after I laughed in her face and said, I'm not at all a pageant girl, thank you, that's sweet. We became friends. Anything she was doing in the community, I wanted to be a part of, and vice versa. So then when she started this organization, I think the first couple years, you should be a mentor. I was like, yeah, great. Still trying to get my life together.
Right.
No, thank you. So she finally wore me down, and she did. She's very good at that, wearing you down. And it has been the most rewarding experience of my life.
And speaking of rewarding, briefly tell us about your mentee, because the story
Miss
you told
Ashley
me, you
Randall.
definitely have made a difference in her life.
Well, when you first get united with the girls, it's awesome because we pick 3, they pick 3. So you're really picking, you're hoping you get picked, and then you're picking who you think you're going to mesh with. The organization steps in the middle and says, believe it or not, you guys are best for each other. Ashley and I didn't know that at T when we got united.
Personalmatch.com.
It really is. It's like dating. So Ashley and I are sitting there at the T after, I think I was her second choice and she might have been my third. So we're sitting there and I talk for a living. So I'm talking.
Right.
And she's sitting there looking at me like, look at you. So
you need to shut up.
That whole process lasted 3 to 4 months. Now we're committed as mentors to meet with our girls on the weekends twice a month.
Right.
So I'm still making dates. I'm still calling, and we're coming and we're meeting for coffee, and she's drinking coffee and looking at me and listening to me. But we didn't have much headway. Okay. Then one day she called me. And I got the call and I looked and I was like, oh my God, it's her! And we've been trained that there is a trust issue probably from the get-go.
Correct.
Most of the people in these girls' lives have to be there. They're being paid to be there, social workers and so forth. So those of us who really want to be, they're going, okay, let me see. So she calls me and I'm kicking around and I just answer. I was like, hey, it's cool, what's up? So we forged our friendship there. She began talking. I got divorced that first year and went and sat down somewhere and was very upset and cried for 2 weeks. And she called me and she said, you got to get up.
Right.
Because I need you.
There you go.
And I could never tell that story without crying.
That's okay.
But she, as much as I feel like
I changed her life.
I did.
And being a part, what we don't realize as mentors is we change lives of others, but within ourselves, they help us.
Yes.
They help us. Your website is terrific, HerSheGroup.org. It tells a wonderful story. The first picture on there is a group of girls all dressed in white. So they get events. They get to learn manners, all of those things. Please, just briefly, I think we only have a couple of minutes left. What do you want to see in Las Vegas and what do you need?
So in Las Vegas, we want to have a home here. So we're looking for real estate, 10 to 20 apartments to house the girls. And, of course, donors, mentors, and other supporters.
Okay. And I'm going to give a telephone number. Zenja, you want to add to that about Las Vegas?
What this organization has already done has been amazing, but this is needed in every city in the country. And as we're forging ahead, there are a lot of underserved women who really want that transition. They want to be able to get to the next level in life. And this organization provides that for them.
Right. What is the primary age, please, Kennadie?
13 to 21.
13
but we're
to
going to
21.
focus here first, 18 to 21.
18, because you don't have to worry about the emancipation issues.
Correct.
At first. The mission of the HerShe Group is to prepare girls in foster care to successfully transition from adolescence to adult independence. And they do this, as we've been talking about, through performing arts, mentorship, and that's the biggest. That is absolutely the biggest. College and career readiness, leadership development, and exposure to extraordinary experiences. And I beg you, go to their website and you will see, read all of the experiences. It's HerShe, H-E-R, like HerShe, HerSheGroup.org. For more information locally, and if you can help, be a sponsor, maybe help them get a location, so that we can start and grow and help the young ladies that are coming out of foster care right here in Southern Nevada. That's 702-400-4439. 702-400-4439. I want to thank you so very much for coming and sharing with us. And we need to get some flyers, get the word out. Send me something electronically, and we'll put it on my app. We'll put it on the website, and help you get the word out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Grab the Lillian McMorris Show app, which will give you access to the current show, links to past segments, add your event to my community calendar. The Lillian McMorris Show is brought to you in part by Louisiana Gumbo and More. Located on West Charleston, the best gumbo, fried catfish, salads, and don't forget the po' boys. That's Louisiana gumbo and more on West Charleston.
And welcome back. It is always nice when I say welcome back. It's not only for you as our audience, but I have a guest that I simply love. I love his spirit, what he gives to our community, organizationally speaking, and I wanted an update because if you follow anything that's going on with Dr. Arnold Stalk and Veterans Village, you will know that we need an update. Welcome, Arnie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Let's talk about Veterans Garden and Veterans Village because there is so much. You were just honored. You've got so many new people that are coming on board just to make it happen. And just as an overview, let's remind our listeners, our viewers, what is Veterans Village? What are you doing over there?
Well, thank you for having me on. Veterans Village is a converted motel. It's a 122-unit motel that's for United States veterans. It's a transitional residence and has housing, medical, mental health services available, nutrition programs, food, clothing, Job Connect, and a large partnership with other nonprofits in the community, all targeted towards making life a little better with respect and dignity for our veterans.
And that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. And we're just closed escrow and opening a crisis intervention center for the whole community, and also an emphasis on veterans on 4 Master Lane, downtown, across from St. Vincent's Plaza,
right?
Which will be we will be able to process a lot of people and help them.
And then you're
get off
in the right area because
Correct.
Unfortunately, besides the Maryland Parkway area, that is the second, I believe, as far as population of homeless.
It is. It's for us. It's ground zero of the root of the problem for families, seniors. Children, senior adults, veterans, and just people in need in general. And we're partnering with Homeless Helpers, which is another nonprofit. It's been feeding people in Southern Nevada for 10 years.
Okay.
And so, but we can't do it without all the other nonprofits' help. And so this is our second project in 2 years.
And you recently received an honor?
We did.
We did.
We did. We received a commendation for excellence and service from the federal government. So we're very, very...
Talk about it. You're so modest. I want people to know because what you're doing, you're making a difference in the lives of not only veterans, but their families. You're making a difference in that homeless person who can't seem to see that they can get to the next step.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And it was recognition through the White House initiatives on homelessness. So we're very humble and honored to get that. So.
I congratulate you. I really do. What drives you?
I grew up in a middle-class home, and I was raised during the 1960s. And I saw the poverty firsthand that I never saw when I was a young child. And I don't accept it. I don't accept the fact that there are people that are struggling throughout our society today, children that go hungry. There's no excuse for it. And we have all those systems in place.
We do.
We have all the nonprofits here. We know what to do here in Las Vegas. We don't need to go to another city to look at other case studies anymore because we've seen them. We know what they are. When I say we, a lot of us have been here almost a quarter of a century. And so it's time to solve the problem in a global manner.
Right.
You know, we see a lot of issues and problems in the streets in the United States on various different levels. We still have intense issues of racial discrimination, things I never would have dreamt I would see at this point in my life that are still fresh and need solutions. And so in our model, we reach out to volunteers, and we've had thousands of people in Southern Nevada step forward to help us in all sorts of areas, everywhere from physicians to mechanics.
That's right, because the only way that you can be successful in helping the homeless individual, your veterans, your families, whomever comes to one of your centers, is to have that volunteerism. Because I tell everybody, we're not an island. We don't stand alone.
Correct.
We have people who believe in what we do, and they're here to help.
That's correct.
And you do. You recently had, was it Bank of America's volunteer group that came out?
Yes. Bank of America, MGM Resorts International, Caesars Foundation, the Crossing Church, Central Christian Church, big organizations, small ones. We have a lot of veterans that served and just want to give back. So anybody who wants to help us from an hour to a full-blown commitment of service, we can find a place for them.
And with the new place that is opening up, now that is not just for veterans, that is for people in general who are homeless and maybe need that little help of where to go. Because you'll also have it set up so you can refer them to various nonprofit organizations.
That's correct. And yeah, crisis intervention is a proven method in every city across the United States to intervene in the process in the slide to homelessness. Right. Whether it's a domestic violence issue, whether it's somebody needs a bus pass to get across town to do something, we can intervene, and having all the nonprofits there under one roof, we can reach out to the expertise of that the nonprofit has.
Because I think you were with me when we worked at MASH Village.
Yes.
Which had all of that under one roof, and it was so effective.
I called this the son of MASH, so
there you go.
Here we are.
There you go.
And
we're back again.
We're back again.
But
and
it works.
It works. It works in every other city, major city in the United States. It's a HUD sanctioned, tried and true program. It works.
It works.
We don't have to have our veterans waiting, a year and a half to get a medical appointment.
Right.
We have Toro University's mobile medical clinic
that come out to your facilities.
That comes out, and so we find what's the best we have to offer in our community, and we bring them into our family.
And that's exactly what we'll continue to do. We're talking to Dr. Arnold Stalk from Veterans Garden and Veterans Village, and he has a new crisis center that's going to be opening up, and you'll let us know how that proceeds and what we can do to help you to get the word out, and what we can do to help you to get other programs involved with what you do. This is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week location specifically for veterans at the Veterans Garden or Veterans Village. Go to their website. Find out a little bit more about them. It's very simple. VeteransVillageLasVegas.org. That's VeteransVillageLasVegas.org. It's probably on the screen right now. Go there. We all go on the internet and look and see what is being done and where possibly you can fit in and be more helpful to the veterans right here in our community. For more information, call 702-624-5792. That's 702-624-5792. Thank you, Arnie. Thank you so much for all of our years. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. I have another organization that's helping a specific group of people, and we need to get the word out as to what they're doing, so don't go away. The Lillian McMorris Show is produced by Tego & Associates Productions. Multi-camera shoots either in our studio or on location. That's Tego & Associates Productions. Give us a call at 702-509-7728. 10 Golden Keys to Effective Networking. This book is designed to strengthen your networking techniques. It is an ebook for instant download. Go to LillianMcMorris.com. That's 10 Golden Keys for Effective Networking.
Grab the Lillian McMorris Show app, which will give you access to the current show, links to past segments, add your event to my community calendar.
And welcome back. I have someone from our community who's making a difference, and I believe in highlighting people that make differences in our community because there are so many individuals that have needs and they don't know where to go. And one category of that, it's our felons. Not fellows, felons, which could be male or female, that have made a decision that has caused a change in their life permanently. I want you to meet Mr. John Ponder. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
I spoke with you several years back, and you were starting your organization, Hope for Prisoners.
Yes.
And it has exceeded, I'm sure, your expectations, because in me following you, it's definitely exceeded what I expected your program to grow into.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what Hope for Prisoners is, how you came up with that concept.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about our organization.
Absolutely.
What Hope for Prisoners is, it's a reentry program where we work with men, women, and young adults that are coming out of every arena of our judicial system. Some of them coming home from state and federal prisons, city, county jails, drug rehabilitation centers, halfway houses, and the like. And what we do is we provide the supportive services to help the return of an ex-offender not only get acclimated back into the workplace, but we want to make sure there are mechanisms in place that once they get there, they're going to be able to thrive and be able to grow and afford every opportunity to succeed.
What do you find is the hardest, I mean, the biggest challenge for these people, specifically those that have been in prison, that are coming back in and trying to reacclimate into society?
Well, there are a whole gamut of challenges that they face. One of the major issues is that you're dealing with a segment of the population who have never really worked a day before in their life.
True.
So that's what it is that one of the things that we do when I talk about helping them get acclimated back into the workplace, not only teach them, how to get in, but make sure that we teach them how that once they get in there, they're going to be able to thrive and be able to grow.
Right. What are some of the steps that you take? I know they have to take classes. They have to be a part of Hope for Prisoners. They don't just come in and sign up and you send them out to get a job. That doesn't happen.
Right. Everything that we do starts out with a very intensive, what we call a pre-vocational leadership workshop. Remember, one of the things that we found was that the majority of people, they really do want to change.
Yes.
They have no idea
They
how to do
don't know how
that.
to do it.
So what we do is we tell them before they even go out and do their job search and get acclimated back in the community, slow down for a minute. Let us teach you those things that not only going to help you get the job, but we want to make sure there's a foundation underneath you that once you get in there, you're going to be able to thrive and be able to grow. So we teach them everything from the importance of the winning attitude in the workplace, in the home, and in the community. We teach them how to go above and beyond the call of duty in the workplace, in the home, and in the community. We teach understanding different personality types in the workplace, in the home, in the community. Effective communication, goal setting, banking, budgeting, time management, and then a lot of leadership, teaching individuals very intensively, number one, how to lead yourself, how to be a leader in your family, and then on the back end of the process, to be a stand-up leader in the community with an overall goal of never having reoffended again.
Right. And what happens? Nobody's perfect. And they always say, when you go into rehab or go into that you're going to backslide, basically. I'm using a church term, excuse me, but you're going to make a mistake again. What happens with that?
Well,
How do you handle that?
And those individuals who backslide and make those mistakes, one of the things that we have is a mentoring program. We're huge on that mentoring program. So after the individual graduates his workshop, he does not graduate from our program. He graduates up into the next level of our commitment to be with him for the next 18 months now, to help him, number one, work out everything he learned in the workshop, but then also be there with him to help him navigate whatever challenges he's going to be facing during that reintegration process. So that, 3-4 months down the line, when he trips and he falls, we want to make sure he's surrounded with a team of people
that's going to help him
teach him how to dust himself back off, learn from the mistake, learn from what it was that tripped you up, arm yourself against that there never happening again, and get back onto the business of life.
That is so good. That is so good. How can we help you as a community?
We are always in need for other mentors. Right now, we've trained up about 250 men and women from our community.
Well, how many people do you have in your program?
Well, we have hundreds.
If you have 250 mentors, how many people you have in your program?
We have worked with well over 800 men and women that were released from different arenas of the judicial system. Right now, we're sitting on about 250 who are already released, waiting to go through, and about 300 individuals that we have relationships with that are in the custody of the Nevada Department of Corrections or the Bureau of Prisons that are waiting to interact with us once they get released.
Wow. So that they get referrals? Are you given referrals from like CCDC or from the prison system? Is that how you get your people?
The bulk of the referrals that we get, because we partner with ministries like Southwest Prison Ministries, these are the boots on the ground that are going into the system. And once they've identified someone who's maybe 18 months from release, they get in contact with us. We kind of develop that relationship with them, do a kind of a needs assessment so that when they hit the ground, they're not coming into an unfamiliar situation.
As a matter of fact, I spoke with someone who went into your program, and he heard about it while he was still incarcerated. And he said that I guess you have lots of brochures and literature, and I'm not sure whether it was that ministry program or someone told him about Hope for Prisoners. And very successfully entered your program.
Yes. We call it it gets on inmate.com. Inside the system, they kind of hear the success stories and, family members of people that they've been incarcerated with. Not only have they not gone back to the system, but they're living levels of life that most people only dream of.
That is so, encouragement, support, hope. That's what you give them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Very,
That's
very
what
much
you
so.
give them.
One of the other things, too, I want to make mention about our mentoring programs, because those 250 individuals that are part of that mentoring program, these are pastors from churches across Southern Nevada, to leaders in churches, to business owners, business leaders, to teachers from Clark County School District, also professors over at UNLV, to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department has given me a small army of volunteer police officers to become part of that mentoring program.
Well, we're going to give a website
Very much
and
so.
a telephone number
Awesome.
for people who may be interested perhaps in the mentoring program, or of an ex-felon who would like to use your services to get their life together, to get a job,
Yes,
to just believe in themselves and start over.
absolutely.
Okay, that's Hope
Wonderful.
for Prisoners. As a matter of fact, that's what their website is, hopeforprisoners.org. Or you can give them a call at 702-586-1371. Thank you so much, Mr. Ponder, for joining us.
Thank
We
you so much.
appreciate you, and thank you for keeping this. This program is just, it's a wonderful, it's not a mainstream program. You have so many different alternatives and meeting all of the various personalities. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we want to thank you for joining us and watching the Lillian McMorris Show. Of course, we want to thank Nevada Partners and Cox Communications, because they're the major sponsors that we have. And as you see, we're going to run a list of sponsors. You keep us on the air. As a matter of fact, if you want to be a sponsor of this community-based show, simply give us a call or go to our website, LillianMcMorrisShow.com. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.